Hey there, this is One Boom, and all of my rants kind of suffer from the same problem. You see, they'll have this issue where people, I think, listen to like 1/3 of it and then they comment. I really wish I could lock ratings and comments behind a view threshold, so you have to watch a certain amount of the video before you're allowed to comment. That video was about content being added to the game that some people were writing off as unimportant or not enough, and despite how giving the game is, people just want more, even though it hasn't even been 4 months since launch. I felt that people were being entitled, myself included, and my friends and just most people are seemingly demanding and entitled, wanting more when the game hasn't, again, been out even 4 months yet. And we've gotten a lot of free content. We've gotten content that would have ran us around $20 to about $200. And the reason I say $200 is because you guys remember back in Black Ops 3 when people would spend hundreds of dollars on supply drops and not get one of the new guns? Yeah, luckily we got, 3 new weapons for free, so that's pretty cool. And even though they're not amazing, not all of Black Ops 3's or Black Ops 4's weapons that they added post-launch or Advanced Warfare's weapons that they added post-launch were amazing, but at least you don't have to gamble your time or money for these. You can just sort of play to the limit and then get them, or in the crossbow's case, complete a challenge, which is more similar to Infinite Warfare style of content release. I saw a lot of misunderstanding in that comment section, basically people saying that I want them to not act entitled even though the game is bricking their consoles and it's unplayable, when that's not what I was saying at all. I was talking about content being added to the game. Now the technical side of the game I will bring up later in this video because it's still important and it ties in with what I'm talking about. I do want to say, I keep getting comments that some of you are still seeing your consoles completely shut down and crash, or your console's been bricked because of the game. I don't know what to do with that information. I haven't had a console crash since 2 weeks after the game came out. The update that released Shoot House and Farmland and also said that they fixed crashes, that fixed the crashes. And since then, the game has locked up and booted me to my dashboard once. That was like mid-November, so I haven't had a problem with the technical side of this game in like 2 months. So I don't know what to tell people when they come to me saying that their game is unplayable and is crashing and is ruining their console and whatever. I don't know what to say. The worst technical problem I run into in this game is bad frame rates on a couple of maps. So I don't know what to say. I believe if you're having those problems, you should be desperately contacting Activision support, Xbox support, PlayStation support, whatever support line has anything to do with that game, you should be contacting them and working out a solution. Bother them with it and get other people on Reddit to bother them with you, because if that's still going on, that's absolutely unacceptable. But none of my friends that play the game have those problems. I haven't had those problems. So for those of you coming to me with them, I don't know how to fix them because I'm just not having them. I'd be honest if I was. In fact, when the game came out, I made a video complaining about the state the game was in at launch and how upsetting it was and how broken it was and how I needed it to be fixed as soon as possible. So I'm more than willing to complain, but I currently don't have anything to complain about. So again, I'm sorry. And this is what Season 2 needs to be about. I'm hoping that the reason Season 2 got delayed and Season 1 ended up getting extended was because they're working on a massive update, a massive content release. And in my opinion, I kind of think it needs to. This game could shake its bad image with one update, and I wonder if when they realized that, that's when they decided to delay Season 2. Season 2 could bring with it tons of content, tons of fixes, buffs and nerfs and changes to the meta that a lot of people have been asking about. And I'm talking minimap changes, Dead Silence being turned into a perk, Ghost being nerfed. Maybe they'll even reduce skill-based matchmaking or change the way matchmaking works entirely. I'm not getting my hopes up, I'm sort of just guessing based on the fact that they delayed their second season for as long as they did. They might be pouring a lot of heart and soul into this. See, this would be a positive reason that they've been sort of slow on other updates and kind of lackluster with other community updates and talking points, because they might be just nose to the grindstone working on maps, weapons, and massive updates, as well as sort of continuing the multiplayer narrative that sort of unfolds throughout each season and adds new characters. Activision to me seems pretty self-conscious right now about how the community sees them with what they changed in Black Ops 4, after its life cycle was pretty much over, but either way, what they changed in Black Ops 4 and their approach to content in Modern Warfare and how they've sort of taken a unofficial pledge to not do the things that we hate, with Modern Warfare's post-launch content, I feel like they're more image conscious now than they have been in a while. So a lot of time and resource and concentration is probably being put, in my opinion, this is what I would do right now if I was running the show. I would put a lot of time and effort into a mega update, something big enough to market. One of those updates that they actually make a trailer for on YouTube that shows, here's what the perks do now, and here's how we've changed the minimap, and we've reworked Piccadilly, something along those lines. Season 1's Battle Pass resets in 10 days, so a little under 2 weeks, putting us at over 2 months since the beginning of Season 1 on December 3rd. And then I started to think about the fact that the gaming revolution said there was going to be a massive overhaul to Modern Warfare at the end of the year. The reason he might have had that information if he didn't lie about it, the reason he might have had that is they might have had one sort of sitting in the wings, at least the plans for an overhaul, in case the game's image started to die due to the game's current state. They could open up or close off spots on different maps. They could change the way spawns work, matchmaking works, they could change the way the perks work, they can buff and nerf weapons, add new ones, and then of course add new maps into the rotation. It's like I've said for a while now, the massive overhaul that came to Call of Duty World War II after Michael Condrey left came pretty damn fast after Michael Condrey left, and so I imagine that a lot of those things were already either planned or in the works, and I'm guessing it's the latter. So in my head, maybe that overhaul leak was referring to a planned potential overhaul if it is required, and that might be why Season 2 got delayed. Season 2 could be massive. Now, obviously, they could have just delayed it because they wanted to maybe add one more thing, or maybe improve the quality of the things in the Battle Pass that's coming with Season 2. Maybe they just ran into some developmental roadblocks during the holidays or whatever. Maybe they just wanted Christmas noobs to have a better chance of getting everything out of the Season 1 Battle Pass, again, encouraging more Battle Pass sales. Those, in my opinion, are more likely options, and maybe I'm just farting rainbows here, but I do think that there's something to this delay. There's something to the sort of tight-lipped nature of Infinity Ward, because even though they've been more open throughout January, I still feel like we haven't seen them at their best since Infinite Warfare. Because Infinite Warfare, the same people, some of the same exact designers and developers and project heads and community managers were so abundantly productive during Infinite Warfare's lifecycle, and maybe they felt like they had to be that way because of the game's poor sales performance, but here's the thing, I know that these people are capable, they're not idiots. I'm sure I could get a lot more clicks by saying Joe Saycott and Ashton Williams and David Michner and Joel Emsley are just idiots. They're dumb and they don't know what they're doing, and essentially they should be fired, and the delay and everything and the tight-lipped nature of the team is just sort of because they're dumb. I'm sure I could get a lot of attention by saying that. But I would like to think that the reason this delay is happening, the reason there was rumors of an overhaul, is because they have a plan, because maybe they knew they launched the game in sort of a half-assed state. We don't know what kind of development hell Modern Warfare went through. I hope that no matter what, Season 2 is worth the wait. I hope we get some of the things the community's been asking for, like Dead Silence ghost changes and minimap changes. I hope we see weapon balance, I hope we see perk balance, I hope we see more weapon balance in the way we saw the M4, MP5, and M13 changes. Those were great, but they sort of fell out of the sky in the form of a hotfix instead of being something they sort of hyped us up for, because that was something that needed to happen. So hopefully we see more of that, hopefully we see more maps. Now, the last thing I want to point out here, which is kind of cool, is that Joel Emsley responded to somebody asking for more 6v6 maps, saying that he was working on it or the team was working on it as fast as they humanly could. There's something about the wording, like saying that they was working on it quickly, makes me think that we're not just going to get 3 6v6 maps and a ground war map, but of course, the Season 2 roadmap could show up tomorrow and completely blow this video out of the water, and everyone's gonna look at this video and go, wow, this dude wanted the moon. What an idiot. And again though, I'm not saying I expect this to be a massive update, a massive change to perks, weapons, new maps, map reworks, a marketable update that can really shake up this game and bring people back that are upset with it. And again, massive fixes for the issues that have been plaguing this game, really, honestly, since launch for a lot of people. Even if I personally haven't dealt with them, I've heard enough testimony to know that something clearly isn't right. I hope that Infinity Ward being tight-lipped, I hope that Season 2 being delayed points to this and not disappointment. Then again, if we only get what we got with Season 1, the same amount of content, 2 weapons, a ground war map, some Spec Ops and gunfight stuff, and 3 remade maps, if that's all we get, fine, and 2 operators in the battle pass, but still, if that's all we get, I might be a little disappointed, but that will meet my expectations, because that's what we got last time. I have no reason to really expect more other than my crazy, speculation. Now, that's content. Other than content, whatever they give us needs to come alongside a huge update, a juicy update. I hope it at least addresses 3 major things the community's been asking for since launch, since the beta. I hope we can see some increased performance. I hope we see quality of life changes. I hope maybe we even see a change to matchmaking. Something has to change. Because even if we were in a scenario where 60% of the player base was happy with the game the way it is, the other 40% still needs to be listened to. Even if within that 40% there are dramatic, hyperbolic people that create caricatures of Modern Warfare to tear down instead of actually talking about the game in a mature, well-informed fashion. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you when I see you. Goodbye.